How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt. Welcome back to MTG Ownage. I want to have a little conversation today, just a brief conversation about Theros Beyond Death. I know it's late, it's been out for a while, and maybe I should have made this sooner because as soon as I saw some of these cards, I was thinking, these are format breaking. These are legitimate problems in some formats. Why is Wizard still printing things like this? And you might be thinking that I'm talking about Euro, but I actually disagree. I don't think this guy's much of a problem in the long run. Sure, he's good, but he doesn't go infinite. That's the big thing, and he takes some time. It takes some time to get going, so he's not that bad. But yeah, he could potentially break formats eventually, but I don't think he will. This guy is I think he's okay too. Strong cards. So the card I'm mainly talking about is Nyx Bloom Ancient. Now let's see if I can get this to be a little bigger. It's only $12 right now, which is insane when you think about it. Okay, let's just forget everything on this card except for this one little sentence. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. That's a 3x multiplier. Just a flat 3x multiplier. Is there any other card that has a 3x multiplier on your mana like this? 3 times, not just 2 additional. If it said it produces 2 additional mana, this card would be insane. But it says 3 times. Now, in case it's not extremely obvious, if you have some kind of Lotus that taps for 3 and now taps for 9. That Gaia's Cradle that taps for 10, now taps for 30. And so on. With just if you tap a permanent for mana, and this guy's only 7 for a 5/5. Well, 7's a pretty big cost. And it's not that big though. Not for 3x mana on a 5/5 trample. So you basically just need to find a way to keep this guy alive, and you win. You win. I can't believe this thing is not like $60 already, honestly. It's the more I think about it, the more insane this is. So it's basically flatlined in price since release, it looks like, actually. Maybe even gone down a little bit. Okay, so yeah, that's the main card that I think is just insane. I think Theros is fine. I think Heliod is really good, but also just fine. And is there anyone else really worth talking about? Ashiok's also very good. This set is really good. These mythics are big mythics. This guy, he's staying up there. The old man boob. Colossus is pretty good too. Might be better in sideboard sometimes. Seems to be pretty good against aggro. And removing stuff from the graveyard is super good. So what's going to break the format? That's what I want to really talk about. Okay, so there's Nyx Bloom Ancient. There's also Nyx Lotus. This is sort of inherently a problem card. We'll see what happens in the long run. But the obvious combos with it and Nyx Bloom Ancient, just together, it already taps for 9 right off. Thassa's Oracle seems to be causing some problems, but I'm not so worried about this card. Shadowsphere. Alright, let's talk about this for a second. Before this, there was like Basilisk Collar. That was one of your best bets. This thing, the Shadowspear is a 1-drop. Equip cost of 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink. And then there's just a ability you can use at will on it too. On this Shadowspear, pay 1 permanents your opponents control lose hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. You can now kill gods. All you gotta do is drop this 1 cost artifact and pay 1 into it. Pretty insane. I foresee this thing going through the roof. Sword of Fire and Ice has got nothing on this. I'm saying that just to cause controversy. But this seems insane. Seems insanely good. Elspeth. No one's worried about Elspeth. Garbage. Leah Keen-Eyed. Oh, let's talk about something else that's going to break the format that I haven't even seen yet. I don't even think it's been noticed. Another tutor right into your hand. But it's a sorcery speed one, so that helps. Polychronos is good, but who cares? He's just he's more annoying than he is problematic. Dream Trawler. This card's a problem. This card is so good. It's unkillable. All you have to do is have cards in your hand, and it can never be killed. And it's got a lifelink, and it draws you tons of cards. It's really insane for control. I'm surprised it's only $2.55. Very expensive card though. 6 drop. That's probably why. The only thing that's holding this price back. Elspeth Conquers Death is very good. I haven't seen anyone successfully really use this. Very expensive saga. Cetacean Champion seems to be very popular. I don't know if he's format breaking though. We're looking for format breaking stuff. Nightmare Shepherd seems to be breaking some formats. Mostly because, well, the token still has its abilities. So you can just re-trigger things. And that gets insane really fast in some decks that are trying to do that. Corvold. Shadow the Sky is cool. Alright, we're looking for format breaking stuff here. I've been seeing some people play Woe Strider. It's got that sack outlet. Free sack outlet. Just sack creature, scry 1. Yeah, this thing's, I think, better than I originally thought. No one's worried about Nadir Kraken. Phoenix of Ash is super cool. I still haven't seen the card that I'm looking for. E2 Extinction is whatever. It is an exile at instant speed though. Nyla's Intervention. This card. Search your library for up to X land cards. X land cards, any lands. Reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your library. This is one of the few cards in Standard that can get you any land. Well, just, you know, there's a limited amount of cards that search up any land or put any land into play. It's one of the things that makes Golos so good. But this is going to mean a lot for older combo-y decks. Now, I don't particularly, I guess I should say I don't know. I'm just really surprised this is as low as it is right now, being that it can search for just X lands. And it can also just absolutely destroy all flyers, which doesn't matter a whole lot. The X lands is the big one, but it's nice to have a backup use case. Storm's Wrath is also really good. It hits creatures and planeswalkers, which is just amazing. That 4 damage. I can't believe it's at 61 cents. I think these will easily get to a couple bucks before too long. But are they breaking formats? I don't think so. Destiny Spinner is obviously one of the best uncommons. Super good. Creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered. So it's great in any sort of control. And then you can just make your lands huge later in the game. Which, you know, it's a nice little bring it home thing if you just have one of these sitting around late game. Gunaros. This guy's pretty cool. I wonder if he'll see some play. Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink. I think he's worth playing or trying. If only he was 2 mana, like the green one. The green elephant thing. What is it? or not elephant, it's a lion. If he was only 2 mana like the lion, that's a 3/3. That would be so good. Alright, Erebos' Intervention. Well, this is I think this is going to see some commander play. Arasta of the Endless Web. Get a bunch of reach. That'll really help survivability. Yeah, this thing will probably keep going up. Agonizing Remorse is a very expensive uncommon. 50 cents. Field of Ruin is an expensive uncommon. I like seeing what uncommons end up holding the biggest price point. It looks like Destiny Spinner right now. Let's scroll up some more and see. No, nothing over that. So we got Destiny Spinner, Field of Ruin, and Agonizing Remorse holding the biggest uncommon spots price wise. Hydra's Growth. Oh, this card's cool. Excuse me. Oh, there's the Bronze-Hide Lion. This is a 3/3 for 2 mana. This guy I think is really, really good. And he's going to be around in a lot of decks for a while. So expect this to go up. Alright, back on Bronze-Hide Lion. To assume that you can just... Everybody's going to want this in Commander that's running these colors, because you could just put it on your Commander when it dies. That's pretty amazing. Hydra's Growth is so good on anything that tramples. Okay, this guy... When I first saw this, I thought this was pretty good. I guess it's okay. I bet it'll see some play. Someone's going to make a deck with it. Or it'll at least be good in the sideboard and nothing else in some formats at certain times. So it'll be interesting to see where this gets used in Pioneer and stuff. Now, this is a pretty expensive uncommon too. It does exile target card from a graveyard when it comes in. That's pretty good. And you can sack it to exile each opponent's graveyard, or you can sack to draw a card. Yeah, this thing's actually pretty good. I can see the usefulness. Gray Merchant is holding up there too. This guy is really good. I'm surprised he's as cheap as he is too. Thrix, the Sudden Storm, Flash, Flying. And your big spells can't be countered and cost less. So he's really good end of turn 5. Especially if you're like a counter deck and you're just sitting on your mana. Makes a great surprise blocker too. Kill stuff with that 4/5 power toughness pretty easily. Ashiok's Eraser. I'm not sure about this card. It's a little expensive, but them getting their spell back potentially sucks too. I think this card's pretty cool. This little weenie is pretty good. In the right deck, it could really cause some problems for people, for the opponents. Haktos the Unscarred. Curious to see if this ever gets played. It's pretty interesting, but it could be good. It could be really good sometimes. I don't know, is there anything else worth talking about? Gallia of the Endless Dance. This seems okay, actually. Getting the draw is always good. And all you gotta do is attack with 3 creatures. So in Gruul Weenie, this might be super amazing. This might be broken. Because you can empty your hand, in theory, with a bunch of 1-drops. And when this comes out, it just attacks and you draw 2 cards. So I think this has a lot of potential. This Gallia of the Endless Dance. Birth of Meletis. Oh god. Don't get me started. There's a lot of good cards in the set. Whirlwind Denial is pretty good. Yeah, it's finally a way to deal with Storm. This wrecks Storm. There are other ways, but this is generically a pretty good counterspell anyway, and yeah, it's gonna wreck a Storm stack. Staggering Insight. I don't know, let me know what you think about Whirlwind Denial. Am I thinking of Storm right? Does this wreck Storm? It says no, no, and no. The best quote ever. Daxos is pretty good. Staggering Insight's pretty good. Enchantment. Okay, anything else that's breaking stuff? No, not really. I don't think so. Is there anything I'm missing? That Crone War is pretty good. It's better than it seems. You get to steal something for a while. For several turns. And your opponent has to tap out. It's going to be really good against just any creature-based deck, really. Oh, a Nax. It'd be interesting to see where this guy goes. He's notably very strong. Very strong. Especially in that mono red. I don't know about Mantle the Wolf. It doesn't give you a 6/6. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm reading it wrong. You get +4/+4, and then when it dies, you get 2 wolves. If only it drew you a card as well. Wolf Willow Haven, if I can talk. This card seems okay. Worst card in the set, Nessian Boar. Underworld Dreams reprint. Pretty cool. Vanishing Lights are very good. It is a non-land permanent. I don't know about Renata. I don't think she's very good. It is each other creature you control enters with another counter, but she doesn't draw you cards or anything like that. Just a little bit of a buff. Mystic Repeal I think is really good. Put it on the bottom. And we're getting down to the cheapest of the cards. Most of these are going to be absolute garbage. I'm just going to skim through them. See if there's anything I think is noteworthy. It's a big +X/+X, but it doesn't give trample. This thing, I keep looking at this Archon of Falling Stars. Its trigger on death is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Return. When Archon of Falling Stars dies, you may return target enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield. Is there anything else good here? I think Fricka's Spawn is a little better than it seems. Its escape is just a bonus. Yeah, it's a decent creature for more of a sealed draft. And if it dies, you can bring it back, and your opponent has to sack. Very expensive escape, though. Anything else? We're still in the uncommons here. What's the best common in the set? Let's see. Has there been any common that's held 40-50 cent price? I don't think so. No, wait. Omen of the Sea. This is probably the biggest common. It's holding 25 cents. Most commons are floating around 15 cents. Well, okay, let's look at the lowest rare. The lowest costing rare. Nessian Boar. Worst card in the set. Allure of the Unknown. Almost just as bad. It's hard to get as bad as a Nessian Boar. Is there something maybe we're all missing about the Nessian Boar that makes it good, though? I don't think so. I think it's pretty bad. It's pretty epic bad. It does have lure on it though. It could end a game. That lure. Alright. I think that's it. Is there anything else worth talking about in this set? I don't think so. Alright, I'm out, guys. Take care. Don't get the virus thing that's going around. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.